Hello friends, in this video, let us discuss the experiment for determination of solids in the sewage. This is one of the experiment in the syllabus of environmental engineering lab that is kept for civil engineering students. The experiment particularly contains finding out different types of the solids that is present in the given sample of the sewage. And when we talk about the solids, it is a physical form of the pollution that is visible to our eyes, and also it is a harmful content that is present in the sewage. So in this video, I am going to explain only the theoretical part of the experiment that will be helpful for the students during the revision for environmental engineering lab exams. So when we talk about the solids, there are different varieties of the solids. One is total solids, which includes all these types of the solids. Next, suspended solids, dissolved solids, volatile solids, fixed solids, and settlable solids. In this explanation, we are going to see how we are going to find out all these types of the solids in a measurements. So first aim of the experiment is to determine various types of the solids present in a given sample of sewage. So what are the apparatus that are required in order to conduct the experiment? First we have to understand that. So one is evaporating dish, next is a gauge crucible, burners, hot air oven, muffle furnace, half cone, desiccators. So these will be the requirements for conducting the experiment. So when we talk about crucible, there are other varieties of the crucibles which are also being used. Here we are using gauge crucible, and then hot air oven for the purpose of heating, and also the muffle furnace. Half cone is needed for settleable solids, and desiccators for removing the excess moisture that is present. Now we can see the various apparatus that is used in this experiment. In the sample. So what is the theory that is present for this experiment? Solids can be defined as the substance that remains as the residue on evaporation and drying at definite temperature. This is the general definition for solids. So when we talk about each of the solids, the way we have to find out each of the solids is very different. But on the general, when we talk about the solids, it will be the residue that is left on evaporation and drying. The solids are present in both suspended dissolved form in the water. Total solids are those matter that are in suspension and both in dissolved form. So both together we call it as total solids. The amount of suspended solids will be more in the domestic sewage and industrial wastewater, whereas dissolved solids renders the water unfit for drinking, agricultural and industrial purpose. So this is a brief theory for this experiment, and I am going to explain each of these solids in detail after explaining the experimental procedure. So what is the principle we are following? The principle we are following is total solids are determined as the residue left after evaporation and drying of the unfiltered water sample. So this is the procedure or the principle we are going to adopt. That is, for calculation of the solids present in the sewage, we are following evaporation and drying methods. So let us understand the procedure first for finding out the total solids. First, we will be taking a clean porcelain dish which is ignited in a muffle furnace, and after partial cooling in the air, it is cooled in a desiccator and weighed. Note down its weight as W1 grams. So this step is particularly done in order to remove any moisture that is present in the porcelain dish. So after that, it will be free from any of the moisture and other unwanted contents. Once it is ignited in the muffle furnace, any other things will be burnt out. Only the clean weight of the porcelain dish we wanted. So after keeping it in a desiccator, so we will be taking out the weight of it. So one thing we have to consider here, it should be cooled down completely. Otherwise, there may be variations in the weight. So this weight of the empty porcelain dish, we will be noting it down as W1 grams. Next, fill the crucible with wastewater sample of known quantity and place it on the burner. and allow the water to evaporate completely and cool it in a desiccator. Okay. Note down the final weight as W2 grams. So as I explained in the principle, what we are doing is we are taking the wastewater sample in the porcelain dish and then we are placing it on the burner, allowing the water to evaporate, and then we will be keeping it in the desiccator in order to remove the excess moisture, and then it will be weighed. So that we are noting it down as W2 grams. So total solids, we will get it in mg per liter. So the W2 minus W1 divided by ml of sample taken into 1000. So the weights we are taking it in a grams, so we are converting it into mg per liter. So this is the principle and the general procedure we are adopting for finding out the total solid. Next, let us understand the procedure for finding out the total dissolved solids in the wastewater. So, total dissolved solids are dissolved inorganic matter or mineral matter in the water or else wastewater. So, we can conduct this experiment both for sewage as well as for water. The thing is, experiment for civil engineering students is kept particularly for finding out the solids in the sewage. That is what we are considering here. Principle here is total dissolved solids are determined as the residue left after evaporation and drying of the filtered sample. The only variation to the previous one we are making here is we are going for filtration using the filter paper. So let us check the procedure. A clean porcelain dish is ignited in a muffle furnace, and after partial cooling in the air, it is cooled in a desiccator and weighed. Note down its weight as W1 grams. Same procedure as we did it for finding out the total solids. So we are going to ignite the porcelain dish in the muffle furnace, and then we are going to cool it down in the air, and then excess moisture is removed by keeping it in the desiccator. So this weight we are calling it as W1 grams. Next, fill the crucible or else the porcelain dish with the wastewater sample of known quantity after filtering it through the filter paper and place it on the burner. So in this case, what we are doing is we are filtering the sample through the filter paper. So the normal filter papers also are available, and even though if you want the more accuracy, we are going for using Wattman filter papers. So after we are taking this in the crucible, again we are doing the same procedure. Allow the water to evaporate completely and cool it in the desiccator. Note down the final weight as W3 grams. So once the wastewater sample is taken, after the filtration, it is again kept for heating, that is in the burner, and then after the evaporation of the wastewater, so the residue left will be weighed along with the weight of the porcelain dish, and it is noted down as W3 grams. After getting the weights W1 and W3 grams, we can calculate the total dissolved solids in mg per liter as W3 minus W1 divided by ml of sample taken into 1000. So next let us understand the settlerable solids. Settlerable solids are those solids in the suspension that settle down due to gravitational force under quiescent conditions, under normal conditions. So settlerable solids, as the name itself is suggesting, it is based on the settlerable property of the solids. So for this purpose, we are going to use the Imhoff cone. The particles in suspension whose specific gravity greater than that of the water will settle under quiescent condition. This is the condition or the principle under which this experiment or the settlerable solids experiment work. So procedure for this is as follows. Gently fill the Imhoff cone with thoroughly well mixed sample, usually 1 liter. General capacity of Imhoff cones will be 1 liter, and allow it to settle. After 45 minutes, gently rotate the cone between the hands to ensure that all solids adhering the sides are loosened. Allow the solids to settle for 15 minutes more to make up for total period of 1 hour. Note down the results by taking the graduations from bottom of Imhoff cone in ml per liter of settlerable solids. The EMF cones will be of this shape. Usually the bottom is little bit rounded off, and on this there will be a measurements like this, it will be given. So generally it will be of 1 liter capacity. Okay, so once we allow the water filled in to settle for solids, so solids will be settled in the bottom like this. As I told in the procedure here, after 45 minutes, some of the solids may be adhering to the sides like this. So rotation is given, gentle rotation is given so that they also slide down to the bottom. Once after giving out 1 hour of sufficient time, we have to note down how much of the solids have been settled. This will be in ml per liter. So these measurements will be in ml. So how much ml has been settled for 1 liter, that is liter of water. So the settlable solids we will be getting it in ml per liter. So all the other measurements we will be getting in mg per liter. Only this, by using EMF cone, we are getting it in ml per liter. Next, let us check the procedure adopted for finding total volatile and fixed solids. Volatile solids are organic material which loses their weight on ignition at above 600 degrees Celsius, and the remaining solids are the fixed solids which are considered as inorganic matter. So those we call it as a fixed solids. Once we ignite the solids present in the sample at 600 degrees Celsius, so the volatile will go, that is, which means they will be burnt out. So others that will be left, which we call it as fixed solids. So generally the fixed solids will be inorganic and volatile solids will be organic. For example, food particles will be organic. So the sand particles will be fixed solids. Even upon burning, they will be remaining as a residue. Some of them will be left as a ash. So what is the principle? Principle followed for this procedure is total volatile solids and fixed solids are determined as a residue remaining after evaporation, drying at 103 degrees Celsius and ignition at 600 degrees Celsius in muffle furnace. Once we go for evaporation and drying at 103 degrees Celsius, we will be available with the total solids. And once it is ignited in muffle furnace at 600 degrees Celsius, volatile solids will be out, and then only fixed solids will be available. By keeping this principle, we can follow the procedure and calculate both volatile and fixed solids. Let us check the procedure. A clean porcelain dish is ignited in a muffle furnace, and after partial cooling in the air, it is cooled down in a desiccator and weighed. Note down its weight W1 grams. Fill the crucible with wastewater sample of known quantity and place it on the burner and allow the water to evaporate completely and cool it in a desiccator. Note down the final weight as W2 grams. See, whenever we are following this procedure, we can use the burner as well. We can go for using hot air oven also. Here these two steps are same as we followed for finding the total solids. Here also in this case, first we find out the total solids by following these two steps. So that is we will be getting W2 minus W1, that we will be getting as a total solids. So then we will have to be finding out volatile and fixed solids in total solids. Check the third step. Now ignite the residue, that is total solids, left in the crucible, allowing the crucible in a muffle furnace for 30 minutes at a temperature of 600 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the organic matter or the solids present in the sewage will be burnt out completely, that they will be ignited. And after taking out the crucible, cool it in a desiccator. Note down the final weight as W4 grams. So desiccator will remove the excess moisture that is present in the sample, and also it will allow for complete cooling down of the sample. So note it down as W4 grams. So whenever we are going to keep the crucible under 600 degrees Celsius, we have to take the material for the crucible which is resistant for this much of temperature. Now let us check how we are going to calculate it under the formula. Total volatile solids in mg per liter is equal to W2 minus W4. W2 is weight of the crucible along with total solids. W4 is weight of crucible along with the solids that are present after keeping it in the muffle furnace. See, here we are noting down final weight as W4 grams divided by ml of sample taken into 1000. So once total solids and those which are present after ignition will be calculated, we can calculate the volatile solids. Once it is calculated, we can easily calculate the total fixed solids in mg per liter is equal to total solids minus volatile solids. The result will be fixed solids. Once we have taken all the weights that is required for the calculations by making the observations, then we can go for calculations by using these formulas. So for total solids in mg per liter, we want W1 and W2, and then we will, for calculation of the dissolved solids, we want W3. So here for calculation of dissolved solids, we will be using the filtered sample, and here in this case we will be taking the direct sample. So then after calculation of these two type of the solids, the total suspended solids can be calculated as total solids minus total dissolved solids. Then the settlerable solids in ml per liter is calculated by using the Imhoff cone. Next, volatile solids, that is W2, total solids is calculated. W4, the residue which is left after ignition is taken. By using this, we can calculate volatile solids. Lastly, the fixed solids can be calculated by using total solids minus total volatile solids. So then list out all types of the solids, and in mg per liter for settlerable solid it is ml per liter. Now let us understand importance of each type of the solids. Now let us understand the importance of each of types of the solids. First, let us take up the total solids. So first point, to assess the suitability of potential supply of water, that is total solids determination is used to assess the suitability of potential supply of water for various uses. In cases in which water softening is needed, the type of the softening procedure used may be dictated by the total solids content. Next, the corrosion control is frequently accomplished by production of stabilized water through pH adjustment. The pH at stabilizations will depend upon to some extent on total solids present in the sewage. Next, let us take up the suspended solids. Now let us check some important points for suspended solids. Suspended material may be objectionable in water for several reasons, and also they are undesirable. It is aesthetically displeasing and provides adsorption sites for chemical and biological agents. Suspended organic solids, which are degraded anaerobically, may release obnoxious odors. Biological active suspended solids may include disease-causing organisms as well as organisms such as toxin-producing strains of algae. And also, suspended solids measurements is used to measure the quality of the wastewater both in influent as well as effluent, and for the analysis of polluted water as well as for wastewater. Strength of the domestic wastewater is found by using the suspended solids quantity. Finally, the efficiency of the treatment units will be calculated based on the suspended solids available in the effluent. Some important points under dissolved solids are: many dissolved substances are undesirable in water. Dissolved minerals, gases, and organic constituents may produce aesthetically displeasing color, taste, and odor. That's the main problem, since it is an aesthetic pollution. Next, it also depletes the DO. That is, some dissolved organic chemicals may deplete the dissolved oxygen in the receiving waters, and some may be inert to biological oxidation. Yet others have been identified as some of them are carcinogens also, that is cancer causing agents. Waters with higher solids content often has a laxative and sometimes the reverse effect upon the people whose bodies are not adjusted to them. So next is high concentration of dissolved solids, about 3000 mg per liter, may also produce distress in livestock. When we talk about industries, in industries, the use of water with high amount of dissolved solids may lead to scaling in the boilers, corrosion, and degraded quality of the product. Some important points under volatile solids. The water which consists of high volatile solids is not suitable for drinking purpose. The presence of high volatile solids indicate that the water may have been polluted by domestic wastes or other organic wastes. In general, groundwater is free from volatile solids unless they have been polluted by waste seepages. But well waters have high volatile solids due to lack of proper protection around the well to prevent the seepage of used water. And surface waters may also have high volatile solids due to disposal of domestic and other wastes. Next, let us check the applications of volatile solids data in environmental engineering practices. First of all, volatile solids test is normally applied to sludges. It is indispensable in design and operation of the sludge digester, vacuum filter, and incineration plants. Next, before the development of the COD test, that is chemical oxygen demand test, it is used to find the strength of industrial and domestic wastewater. During that time, it was the important experiment. Next, it is helpful in assessing. It is helpful in assessing the amount of biologically inert organic matter such as lignin in case of wood pulping waste liquors. Next, for fixed solids, this is the measure used to gauge the amount of mineral matter in the wastewater. Since the mineral matters will be the fixed solids. After the volatile solids have been left, the remaining will be fixed solids. That is why they are mineral matter, nothing but the inorganic matter. Next, lastly, the settlerable solids. The settlerable solids are very important for design of the plain settling tank, and also the efficiency of the sedimentation tank will be found based on the settlerable solids. These all points are very useful in answering the Viva questions during the lab exams. Thank you.